warm welcome to TV Africa News. Thank you for always keeping it TV Africa. This is Africa Today. My name is Najma Luima, but first are the headlines. Kenya, South Africa improve bilateral ties on migration and trade. South Africa president criticizes international donors. Cameroon coach reveals squad for World Cup. A warm welcome once again. Now the news in detail. The President of South Africa, Cyril Ramaphosa, and that of Kenya, William Ruto, said on Wednesday they have resolved a long-standing visa dispute and Kenyans will be able to visit South Africa visa-free for up to 90 days in a calendar year. We have more. South Africans already get free visas on arrival in Kenya, while Kenyans were charged and required to provide proof of sufficient funds and return flight tickets. The new agreement is set to take effect on January 1st. South African President Cyril Ramaphosa was in Kenya on his first official trip to the country. He and Kenyan President William Ruto praised the Ethiopian peace agreement signed last week in South Africa and brokered by the African Union. They appealed to the parties to ensure full implementation of the agreement to reach a lasting political settlement. President Cyril Ramaphosa said that they agreed on the need for peace and stability in the continent and ending conflicts within and between states. He added that besides destroying lives and livelihoods, these conflicts greatly retard progress in addressing important social and economic issues. Therefore, agreed that they need to remain focused on issues affecting their regions and the continent and not be distracted by other global matters that are not of their making. In the past 2 months, the Central African Republic has faced a severe petrol shortage. In the capital Bangui, motor taxi drivers are giving up their trade or paying higher prices to get fuel, while others buy from vendors who sell to passerby. We have more on this report.
In the past 2 months, Central African Republic has faced a severe petrol shortage. In the capital Bangui, motor taxi drivers are giving up their trade or paying higher prices to get fuel, while others buy from vendors who sell to passers-by. Job motor taxi drivers say that when they go to the stations, they can't find any fuel, whereas in the stations, they buy a liter for 885 CFA francs, and this has made the prices go high since the stations are not working. He added that some drivers have parked their motorbikes because of this shortage and don't want to have problems with their bosses. For years, the price of petrol has been blocked by government at 865 CFA francs a liter, while on the street, a bottle costs up to 40% more. Petrol sellers buy on the black market, where the product is often of poor quality from cheap additives. Hundreds of petrol station workers around Bangui are out of a job and have been replaced by curbside sellers. Despite mineral resources such as gold, diamonds, and potentially even plenty of oil reserves, the World Bank estimates that 71% of Central Africa's 6 million people live below the international poverty line of $2.15 a day.
Moving on, the sound of chirping birds drowns out the noise of passing cars near a school on the southern tip of Africa, where pupils plant cabbages, mix composite, and climb trees. Let's take a look. South Africa's first green school aims to raise a new generation of environmentally conscious citizens, fostering children's creativity and resilience in the face of climate disruption. Founder Alba Brandt said that she came up with the idea in 2017 after spending 6 months at a similar initiative in Bali, Indonesia, for what was supposed to be a family adventure with her husband and 3 daughters. Unlike most other South African schools, uniforms are not required at this institute, nestled in a privileged corner of the country, rich in plant life and vineyards. The school, which opened last year, is built on a former horse paddock where the land was dead and trampled upon. The school grounds boast playgrounds with swings, huts, and sandboxes, while the canteen is a zero-waste kitchen. serves only vegetarian meals. The school serves all grade age groups from nursery school to secondary, with about 170 pupils currently enrolled. The Green School is not about downloading contents into people's brains, but wants them to think critically in line with 21st century learning skills, according to their educator. Let's go for a quick short break. We will be right back. Welcome back. You're still watching TV Africa News, the right to know. Hundreds of young Congolese volunteers to join the army to fight the March 23 movement rebels who are making increasing advances in Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo. We have more with this report. Army officials say that more than 3,000 applicants aged between 18 and 30 are registered across the province, in part as a response to a message to the nation by President Felix Tshisekedi calling on young people to enlist in the army to fight the M23 rebels. The Rwandan government, which has repeatedly denied supporting M23, meanwhile said that a Congolese fighter plane had violated Rwandan airspace by landing briefly at Rubavu Airport. The M23 rebels rose to prominence more than a decade ago when they seized Goma, the largest city in Congo's east that sits along the border with Rwanda. After a peace deal, many of M23's fighters were integrated into the national military. But then a year ago, the group re-emerged, saying the government had failed to live up to its decade-long promises. Tensions have mounted as the M23 rebels have advanced in recent weeks, seizing several key towns including Chiwanja. Congo's government has blamed Rwanda and expelled the Rwandan ambassador about a week ago. Congolese President Felix Tshisekedi also has called on his citizens to mobilize against Rwandan aggression in Rushuru territory on Thursday. Moving on, the tributary of the mighty Congo often floods during the rainy season, but this year the water levels have been catastrophic for the nation at the heart of the African continent, and communities that are livelihood from fishing have been among the worst affected. Let's take a look. Koyeke, 29, the head of Bangui's Fishing Development Association, One for All, said that with the flooding, the very high pressure of the water makes the fish flee their usual places and go hide under the roots of trees where the pressure is low. In the distance, a group of fishermen is caught salted on the edge of the thick mist as they roll out a 300-meter-long net before casting it into the river in vain. There is a shortage of fish and equipment to make the nets, which usually come from Europe, Cameroon or Nigeria, but supplies have dried up. The local catch includes eels, carp and captain fish, but fewer and fewer are on the sale at the market at Owango, a fishing community nearby the river. According to the World Bank, Carl produced 29,000 tons of fish in 2020. The World Bank estimates that 71% of the nation's 6 million people live below the international poverty line of $2.15 a day. The floods have hit at a time when nearly half the population is suffering from food insecurity and relies on international aid, according to the UN. Since June, about 85,000 people have been affected by the floods across 12 of CAR's 17 prefectures, according to the UN. In Tanzania, investigations are already underway after the authorities announced on Tuesday that the wreckage of a plane that crashed in Lake Victoria on Sunday has been pulled out of the water.
The accident, the dead list indicates, killed 19 people and occurred in the northwestern city of Bukoba. The flight, including 39 passengers and 4 crew members, had taken off from Tanzania's commercial capital Dar es Salaam and was headed to the town of Bukoba before it plugged into Lake Victoria as it was preparing to land. The accident is believed to have happened on the final coach to the airport, whose runway begins right next to Lake Victoria, Africa's largest freshwater lake. Local officials suggested bad weather may have played a part in the accident, saying the area had been under heavy rainfall and strong winds at the time. The airline has opened a crisis management center and established information areas in Bukoba and Dar es Salaam to communicate with the families of the passengers. On Monday, Prime Minister Majaliwa sought to reassure the public about his country's air safety record during the funeral service in Bukoba.
Let's once again take a quick break. We will be right back. Parts of Kenya have experienced 4 consecutive seasons with inadequate rain in the past 2 years, with dire effects for people and animals, including livestock. Mortality rate among herbivore species such as elephants increased. At the Ritei Elephant Sanctuary, a community-owned elephant sanctuary situated in northern Kenya, the effects of the drought are crystal clear. Jim Justus Nyamu, an elephant research scientist, explained that elephants drink 240 liters of water per day, and the drought is something to do with water and flood. Jim Justus Nyamu believes conservation models must change and migratory corridors must be opened so the elephants can move to greener areas during drought. The sanctuary, which exists since 2016, is home to 40 elephant calves. Around 30 are thought to have been brought here due to the drought. Elephants have a gestation period of 22 months and are sometimes unable to carry their pregnancies to term. Most mother elephants succumbed to diseases that occurred due to a weakened immune system. A report by the Kenyan Tourism and Wildlife Ministry revealed that between February and October this year, 205 elephants died as a consequence of the lack of rain. Some of Kenya's most visited national parks and reserves, including the Amboseli, Savo and Laikipia Samburu areas, are located in worst affected ecosystems. The Kenyan Wildlife Ministry said additional hay would be dropped off. A Guinean association based in the neighborhood of Alto da Gloria on the outskirts of the capital of Cabo Verde, Praia, is working hard to keep the culture and traditions of their home country alive. We have more. All the members of the Cultural Association Cabas de Terra are teaching their children about the song, dance, and poetry of Guinea-Bissau. They believe it is important that the young people born in Cape Verde understand the culture of the country their families come from. The association's secretary, Carlos Jesse, said that they have never been to Guinea-Bissau and don't know what it's like. He added that through the association they have heard about their home country, they see how they dance, hear how they sing. They keep that culture alive and don't want to lose sight of that culture. Guineans are the largest community of foreigners living in Cape Verde. Unlike most of his fellow countrymen, DSC's children have never been to Guinea-Bissau. Formed in 2013, the association in the informal neighborhood gives Guineans the opportunity to return to their roots every week, even if for a few hours, and in the process pass on their culture and traditions to the young generation. And finally, in our sports news today, Cameroon is on the starting blocks 10 days before the start of the World Cup in Qatar. On Wednesday, coach Rigobert Song unveiled his list of 26 indomitable lions for the World Cup. We have more with Ahomaza.
The squad features stars like Abeka Vincent and Jean-Eric Maxim Choupo-Moting, as well as Napoli Zambo Anguissa. There were many surprises, however, with the presence of defender Nicolas Nkoulo back after 3 absences. He was preferred to one of the captains of the squad, Michael Ngaudio, although he was considered indispensable by the coach a few weeks ago. The president of the federation, Samuel Eto'o, has set very ambitious goals for his national team. However, Rigobert Song's men will spare no effort in Qatar, where they face a particularly tough Group G. After last friendly game against Panama on 18th November, the Cameroonians will face Switzerland on 24th November, Serbia on 28th November, and above all, Brazil on 2nd December.
That was the news. Thank you for always keeping it TV Africa. Please do stay tuned.